Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Boaz Leleina. I'm a software engineer and GRE trainer here at the Kenya Airlift program. For this video, we're going to be going over an introduction to the GRE verbal section and the analytical writing section, helping you to understand the type of questions you will be getting. Let's get started. For the verbal section of the GRE, it's going to test your ability to analyze and evaluate written materials to synthesize information obtained from it. It basically means, are you able to read some text and then understand what the text requires from you and then get an answer from it? Also, you need to analyze relationships among component parts of sentences. So you will have maybe 1, 2, 3 sentences, and then you have to understand what's the relationship between all these sentences and then come up with a logic for it. You also should be able to recognize relationships among words and concepts. So are you able to look at words and then figure out which two words mean the same thing or which two words will give the same context to a specific sentence? The GRE verbal measure contains 3 types of questions. You'll have the first type of questions you have is the reading comprehension, then you have the text completion, and then you have the sentence equivalent. These 3 types of questions is what you'll be expecting in the GRE verbal reasoning section. And remember, we talked about GRE has 2 sections for the verbal, section 1 and section 2. Section 2. For section 1, you will have 12 questions here. And then for section 2, you will have 15 questions. You will have 18 minutes to solve these ones, and then you will have 23 minutes to solve these questions. They will both give you a total of 170 points if you are able to get all of them. Let's start with the reading comprehension questions. So reading comprehension questions are designed to test a wide range of abilities required to read and understand the kind of prose commonly encountered in graduate language. This basically means, are you able to understand the kind of language structure used in graduate school? So these reading comprehension question, it's going to test your ability to go through a large body of text and then understand and gain concept from that body of text. This is what you'll be doing when you're at graduate school, where you'll be going through research papers, research theses written by other students, and then you have to try and understand and make meaning from it. Some of the abilities that these reading comprehension questions are going to test include the meaning of paragraphs and larger bodies of text, distinguishing between minor and major points, and then summarizing a passage and drawing conclusion from the information provided. You will have 2 types of paragraphs. You will have short paragraphs or short passages. You will have short passages, and then you will have long passages. These are the 2 types of passages you'll be expecting. This one will be maybe 2 paragraphs long. Some are even 1 paragraph. This one might be 4 to 6 paragraphs long. So are you able to go paragraphs? Are you able to go through this short passage? Are you able to go through this long passage and get meaning and context from it, and then use whatever you have understood to answer the questions? Reading comprehension questions, about half of the questions. So reading comprehension is very important. Half of the questions on the test are based on passages. Each passage has 1 to 6 questions associated with it. Depending on how long the passage is, you will have maybe 1 question or up to 6 questions associated with 1 specific paragraph. So these types of questions are very important to get a good score at the GRE verbal section. Most of the passages are 1 paragraph long, meaning they are short passages. Others are maybe 2 or several paragraphs long. Depending on which types of passage you get, will you able to process and then gain information from that passage and then transfer that information to answering questions. Passages are not drawn from any specific field. You don't have to have domain knowledge of a specific field. They could be from physical sciences, from biological sciences, social sciences, business, arts, everyday topics that can be found in books. So there can be both academic and non-academic. you'll find that sometimes it's text about maybe something that Shakespeare spoke about, maybe something around the philosophical eras. You just have to process the text and then understand it, break it down, and then use it to answer questions. You do not need to have specific domain knowledge other than your critical reasoning skills. There are some question types for the reading comprehension. The first one is multiple choice. You are asked to select one answer choice. So you'll be given 5 between A, you'll be given between A to E, and then you're asked to select only one answer, either A, B, C, D, or E. So you just select one answer. Also, you could be asked to select one or more answer choices. So it could be these questions provide 3 answer choices and ask you to select all that are correct. 1, 2, or all 3 of the answer choices must be correct. So you'll be given A, B, and C. And then you're asked to pick one between these 3. So 1 could be correct, 2 could be correct, all or 3 could be correct. So it's up to you to figure out which of these 3 is correct. To gain credit for this question, you must select all the correct answer, all the correct answer here. So if maybe let's say A, B, and C, let's say A and C were the correct answer and you got only A, you will not get this question correct. There are no half marks. You will not get credit for partially correct answer. You have to be able to identify both A and C in order to get the full mark. So that is something also to note. So another type of question that you'll get for the reading comprehension is select in passage. These questions ask you to select a sentence in the passage that meets a certain description. So you'll be given a description, you'll be given a prompt there, and then you ask to pick a sentence. So you'll be given a selection using your mouse. You'll be able to click on a certain paragraph and then click on a certain sentence within a paragraph that you feel is the correct answer for this prompt. So if you are asked about a specific thing that happens in the paragraph, are you able to quickly identify that topic, or are you able to identify that section of the paragraph and then select that sentence? To select on a sentence, click on any word within the sentence or select the sentence with a keyboard. So it's usually easier to use your mouse. So if I wanted to, maybe I had these 3 sentences as one of my paragraph and I wanted to select this one. If I clicked on this word using my mouse, it will select this entire sentence. So just click on any word in the sentence that you feel is the correct answer. In longer passages, they usually apply to only 1 or 2 specified paragraphs. So you're given 6 paragraphs, they will only give you the option to select from maybe paragraph 1 and paragraph 2, or maybe paragraph 3 and paragraph 4. Your sentence will be within these paragraphs here. So you will only have the ability to select from one of these 2 paragraphs. You will not be able to select a sentence elsewhere in the passage. So you just can't click on anywhere. For long passages, they usually allow you, or they limit you to these paragraphs to make work a little bit easier for you. For the next type of questions, we are going to be going over the text completion questions. These questions omit crucial words from a short passage and ask you to use the remaining information in the passage as a basis for selecting words or short phrases to fill the blanks and create a coherent and meaningful whole. So basically, you're given a paragraph with some words that have been removed from it, and it's your responsibility to make sure that the words that you choose from the multiple choices make sense for the whole paragraph. Let's look at an example of one of the text completion questions here. It is refreshing to read a book about our planet by an author who does not allow facts to be blank by politics. Well aware of the political disputes about the effect of human activities on climate and biodiversity, this author does not permit them to blank his comprehensive description of what we know about our biosphere. He emphasizes the enormous gaps in our knowledge, the sparseness of our observation, and the blank, calling attention to many aspects of planetary evolution that must be better understood before we can accurately diagnose the condition of our planet. So from this paragraph here, we can see that we're talking about an author and is being praised about not allowing politics to do something to him. So it's refreshing to read a book about our planet by an author who does not allow facts to be blank. Let's look at the options that we have for blank 1. We have overshadowed, we have invalidated, illuminated. Overshadowed here means to make one thing more important than the other so that it cannot be seen. It's like creating a shadow over it. Maybe you could use an example like his competitive nature overshadowed his friendliness. So overshadowed here could be an option, meaning he did not allow politics to overshadow his opinions. He did not allow politics to overshadow his opinion. This could be an option. All right. Invalidated means to disapprove or to prove that something is wrong. So invalidated. So he does not allow his opinions. He does not allow facts. He does not allow facts to be invalidated by politics. This could be an option. Invalidated could also be an option here. Illuminated is to make something better known or better seen. So maybe after reading the book, I was illuminated on that topic. So illuminated here does not really work here. But option A, overshadowed, option B could be an option. They could be both correct answers here. So we have to look at the next blank in order to make sense of these answers and to find one that is the most correct. So let's go ahead. Well aware of the political disputes about the effects of human activities on climate and biodiversity, this author does not permit them to blank his comprehensive description of what we know about our biosphere. So the author does not permit them. So we have to make sure whatever is not permitting them to do, it's probably negative. Let's look at here, enhance. Enhance is to make something better, improve the quality of something. So does he not permit them to enhance his comprehensive description? Not really, right? Let's look at underscore here. Underscore is to make something, highlight something or make something better known also. So underscore is to show the importance of something. So does not permit them to show the importance of comprehensive description of his comprehensive description, not really. So the only option that seems to be working here is obscure. Obscure meaning to make something, it's like the opposite of underscore here. Obscure means to make, to keep something from being seen. You're obscuring. He obscured my vision. So for here, he does not permit them to obscure his comprehensive description of what we know about our biosphere. So it does not permit the politics to obscure his comprehensive description. So what would be the first option here? Now let's look for the first option that would go well with obscure. It's refreshing to read a book about our planet by an author who does not allow facts to be invalidated by politics, well aware of the political dispute about the effects of human activities on climate and biodiversity. This author does not permit them to obscure his comprehensive description of what we know about our biosphere. Right? Invalidated does not really work here because he's sharing facts here. It's not his opinion. So he's sharing some facts here. So he does not allow his facts to be overshadowed by politics, meaning he does not allow overshadow. He does not allow his facts to be overshadowed by politics, meaning he does not allow politics to make his facts less known. So he's sticking to the facts that he has. So it's refreshing to read a book about our planet by an author who does not allow facts to be overshadowed by politics. Well aware of the political disputes about the effects of human activities on climate and biodiversity, this author does not permit them to obscure his comprehensive description of what we know about our biosphere. Full stop. He emphasizes the enormous gaps. All right, so we are looking at something that is missing here. Let's look at these enormous gaps in our knowledge. So we have enormous gaps, the sparseness of observation. This is also meaning we do not have enough observations. And the blank, calling attention to the many aspects of planetary evolution that must be better understood before we can accurately diagnose the conditions of our planet. For the first option here, we have plausibility of our hypothesis. He emphasizes the enormous gap. Let's look at the first option here, plausibility of our hypothesis. Plausibility of our hypothesis. Plausibility, plausible basically means probable or something might be true. So plausibility of our hypothesis, but we have enormous gaps. So there's a good chance that our hypothesis will not be probable. Our hypothesis will not be true. So this disqualifies that as an answer. Certainty, meaning you are sure about something, but you cannot be sure if you have enormous gaps in knowledge. So this is also not an option. This leaves us with this last option here. So sometimes even if you did not know the meaning of superficiality, you can use the rules of elimination to just eliminate the other correct answer. So we have our option here. We have option A, overshadowed, option E, obscure, and then option I, superficiality of our theories. So that's how sometimes you have to solve. This is just an example. That's how you have to solve these types of text completion questions. You don't always have to solve the first blank here. You might find that the correct option that will allow you to make sense of this statement is in option 3. So you just have to come to option 3, then you work your way back. So if option 1 does not make sense, or you feel like 2 answers or 3 answers might make sense for that blank, and you only need 1, go to the next blank and try and figure it out.
You're watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, presented to you by Upstack America. Upstack America is a consulting company that helps immigrants find amazing higher education and job opportunities in the tech industry in the United States. You can find our programs by going to www.upstackamerica.com. Upstack America, we wake you up to the unlimited potential.
All right, let's move on to the next types of questions. What is a text completion question structure? Passages composed of 1 to 5 sentences, as we've just seen. You could have 1 to 3 blanks, so 1 blank, 2 blanks, up to 3 blanks. These questions, these 3 answer choices per blank. So for each blank that they'll give you 3 answer choices. We've seen here for blank 1, we have 3 answer choices. For blank 2, we have 3 answers. For blank 3, we have 3 answers. The answer choices for different blanks function independently, i.e. selecting one answer choice for one blank does not affect what answer choice you can select for another blank. So that's why you're saying you can start with blank 3 and then go back to blank 1 and then do blank 2, whichever order makes sense to you for you to understand the paragraph. Single correct answer consisting of 1 choice for each blank. No credit for partiality of answer. So if you have 3 blanks, you have to make sure you get all 3 correct in order to get the point for that question. Or if you fail 1, then you fail the entire question. So you have to make sure that the entire sentence structure makes sense. For the next type of questions that we have are the sentence equivalence questions. So like text completion questions, sentence equivalence questions test the ability to reach a conclusion about how a passage should be completed on the basis of partial information, but to a greater extent, they focus on the meaning of the completed whole. Sentence equivalence questions consist of a single sentence with just 1 blank here. So you just have 1 blank and they ask you to find 2 choices. You're asked to find 2 choices that lead to a complete, coherent sentence while producing sentences that mean the same thing. So what does this mean? Let's look at a question example to understand what this means. Sentence equivalence consists of a single sentence, 1 blank, and then 6 answer choices. You are given 6 answer choices, and then you just have to pick 2. From these 6, pick 2 that mean the same thing. You're given 1 blank, as you see here, and then a single sentence. Let's look at this question here. Select 2 answer choices that, when used to complete the sentence, fit the meaning of the sentence as a whole. This basically means find 2 answers here that mean the same thing, that when you use them to fill in this blank, they are going to give you the same meaning to this sentence. Although it does contain some pioneering ideas, one would hardly characterize the work as blank. Although it does contain some pioneering ideas, again, although here, meaning even though we are talking about it having some pioneering ideas, we're going to find something that goes against them saying pioneering ideas. So although will mean the opposite of whatever here. So even though it's a good thing, something is missing. So one would hardly characterize the work as orthodox, all right, as eccentric, as original, as trifling, as conventional, as innovative. So orthodox here and conventional have the same meaning, but we are looking at pioneering ideas. So something that would mean it's not all about these pioneering ideas. So eccentric, not really. So original, all right, original. Let's look at that. Although it does contain some pioneering ideas, one would hardly characterize the work as original. Original fits this question perfectly. So although it is pioneering, yeah, it might be pioneering. It's not all about it. This although is a crucial term. So although it's pioneering, it's not really original. So original is an answer choice here that is correct. Another word that could mean original here is innovative. So conventional and orthodox mean the same thing, but they will not complete this sentence in a way that makes it make sense. Although being a crucial word and pioneering ideas here. So their answers will be original and innovative. Although it does contain some pioneering word ideas, one would hardly characterize the work as original or innovative. All right, this is just an example of some of the questions that you might find in the GRE sentence equivalence types of questions. So you'll just have one blank, and then, so for this one to be able to answer these types of questions, your vocabulary has to be very strong. So here it's about vocabulary. Are you able to understand meanings of words? Are you able to look at words that could mean the same thing or could complete the sentence in a way that makes sense for that sentence? Vocabulary is very important for sentence equivalence. All right. Finally, we are going to look at the analytical writing measure. Analytical writing measure, which is the essay here. It's going to be the essay. So we know that we only now have only one essay. So let's look at that. Analytical writing, it assesses your ability to articulate and support complex ideas, to construct arguments, sustained and focused discussion. So are you able to write an essay that makes sense throughout, that supports itself, that does not have any differing meaning, so that the reader who's going to go through that essay finds that he's able to make sense of whatever you're saying and is able to agree with you? Are you able to convince a reader to agree with your opinion? So are you able to articulate and support complex ideas from the prompt that you're provided? Are you able to give really good examples? Are you able to construct arguments? Are you able to keep a sustained and coherent discussion? For the analytical writing question structure here, you have an analyze an issue, and you're going to be given 30 minutes to solve this task. This task is going to present you with an opinion on an issue and instructions on how to respond. So you're going to be given an instruction on how to respond. You're going to be given an opinion, and then you're given an instruction. You are required to evaluate the issue, consider its complexity, and develop an argument. Develop an argument with reasons and examples to support your view. So whichever view you pick, whether it's positive or it's negative from the issue that you've been given, are you able to come up with a reason and examples to support your statements? You'll use a basic word processor. You're going to be provided with an interface by ETS, where you're going to be able to type your essay. The word processor contains the following functionalities. You'll be able to insert text. You'll be able to delete your text. You're able to cut and paste, and you're able to undo the previous action. So you can be able to delete, you can be able to insert, you're able to cut and paste. But you will not be able to have like spell checkers within there. So be very careful about your spelling. Spelling is very important, and grammar checker also. You're not going to have a grammar checker. So ensure that your grammar, meaning sentence construction, makes sense. Use are not going to be available to you. Each issue topic makes a claim that can be discussed from various perspectives and applied to many different situations and conditions. So when you're given an issue, you can either support it or go against it. It's up to you to come up with a few reasons about why you would support maybe that issue, or why you feel that issue is wrong. So you could be pro or against that issue, or are you against whatever is being discussed there? Are you able to come up with examples as to why you picked a certain goal? Are you able to come up with the reasons about why you picked a certain stand, and then defend your stand, defend your position? Your task is to present a compelling case. You're presenting a compelling case for your own position. So whichever position you pick, are you able to defend yourself on the issue? You are required to evaluate the issue, consider its complexities, and develop an argument with reasons. Reasons is very important. You have to come up with the reasons why you think that this is. You're also given examples here. So these examples don't have to be real life. Don't have to be real life here. Don't have to be real life. Just give whatever examples you feel will support your statement. The examples have to make sense. It doesn't have to be real life. Maybe you can come up with a story if you feel maybe a story supports your opinion. So maybe a story about someone in your life, someone in another person's life. It doesn't have to be real, as long as it's an example that supports your stand. That is something to note. So before beginning writing your response, read the issue. Don't just rush into writing. Read the issue and the instructions. Read the issue and the instructions. that follow that issue, and then think about the issue critically. Think about the issue from several points of view. What I usually recommend is maybe have a place where you can write. You're provided with a scratch paper. Make a table there, and then pro if you support that issue or against. Have these, and then list out your points here, and then whichever you feel you have more points for. So if you are against whatever is being spoken about here, you have more points for that, then go with that. If you are pro, meaning you support whatever is being said by the issue, then whichever position you pick, make sure you have enough examples to support your position. Make notes. This is recommended. Make notes about the position you want. Before you start writing, take some notes about the position you want to develop and list the main reasons and examples. Start with the most important reasons, and then as you go to less important reasons, you could use to support that position. So start with the most important and then going down like that. Each task is accompanied by a set of instructions. You always receive instructions from the ETS. So for an example here, let's look at an example. Write a response in which you discuss the extent to which you agree or disagree with the statement and explain your reasoning for the position you take. In developing and supporting your position, you should consider ways in which the statement might or might not hold true, and explain how these considerations shape your position. So again, it's about your opinions. We only need to hear your opinions on a certain statement, on a certain sentence, on a certain story. Give your opinions and then give your examples and defend your position. That's it. But make sure you always read this prompt before you start answering your question. After this set of instructions here, you're going to have your sentence next there. So these instructions is always very important. Always ensure you read these. Read it 2-3 times. Make sure you really process whatever they're asking here, and then you can go and start writing and making notes about your position. That is the end of this video. I appreciate you sticking with me throughout the video. I hope this has been informative. I'm going to be seeing you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.